What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start this show by being transparent. Um, Yesterday, I went backwards 2-3, and my day was pretty much decided by I had a push on the NFL game that should have been a win, in my opinion, with the over 49, and then I had Maxi rebounds at 3.5. He got 4 rebounds. They had it at 4. Somehow a rebound got taken away. Somehow a rebound got taken away once again. So I tried the props again, and the same thing happened. That decides my day. Vino, hopefully you had a better day than me yesterday.
Made a little bit, Skee. Made a little bit. Could have made more. The Minnesota team total stopped me from making even more. 122 and a half, 98 after three quarters. Don't really play the fourth. You get to 120. So that didn't make it. But the NFL game was good to me. Had the Dallas team total over. Winner in college basketball. Winner in the NBA as well with, if I go back to yesterday real quick, day to day, I can't remember what the heck I had. Push with Miami, as a matter of fact. I got to the bad end of that late too, and actually lost the Denver bet outright. Credit to Chicago because I don't think I saw that even coming. So it made a little bit because the NFL bet and the college basketball bet were bigger, but 2-2 and a push.
Yeah, 1+1 = 7 sometimes, Rob, as we see with that Chicago Bulls game. I mean, how does the team coming off double overtime, no rest, look like the most energized group on the floor? It just shouldn't be that way in the NBA, but a lot of these guys don't care on a nightly basis. Regardless, we'll move on to today. And we can't blame Jokic, Himmy. Can't blame Jokic. I mean, what do you
No,
have, like 30 something, 18
triple
and
double.
13? Like, we're not blaming Jokic. Not Jokic's fault. There's a lot of guys sitting around watching other people take threes, I'll tell you that. But all right, let's move to today. Warriors and Magic. Open 2.5 for Golden State. I see threes. I see a couple 3.5s. Total went from 224.5. And I see this. You got line shop anywhere between 222.5 and 224. As far as who's available, I should hit the refresh here. We are after that first injury report time. Paulo out, Mo Wagner out, Suggs questionable, Buddy Hill probable, Kaminga out, Melton out. Um, the Warriors, I mean, after it is, first of all, it is the first of a back to back, and I think this is their fourth straight road game, something like that. And then for the Magic, you do have them coming off that overtime game. The Warriors, though, ever since that spanking they got from the Thunder, they've looked pretty good the past few games. Granted, the last one was versus the Pelicans, but three straight wins for this Warriors team. The Magic, they've been I mean, they've won 3 of their last 4. They did fall off in their last one versus the Rockets, who, Rockets have looked damn good this year. So, I mean, they look solid, I guess to say, without Paolo. Now they'll be at home versus Warriors team, who could have a little bit of travel fatigue, has to save a little bit of energy for tomorrow. When I think about both of these teams as of who's available right now, I think that the Warriors are better. But this line is just is really short. And I know the Magic can play defense. They should still have some size advantage, I feel like, inside. How are you seeing Warriors and Magic, Ravino?
Well, I didn't play mainly because of what you said first. It's a back to back. I would like to think that Golden State's the right side here because I don't know how much interest they'll have tomorrow, other than Jimmy Butler's going to be playing in Miami. It'll be back to back in the fifth of a 5 game road trip. I think they're 3-1 on this trip so far. So you can lock up a winning trip with a win tonight. I just personally think they'll put more effort in. They're better rested into tonight's matchup than they will tomorrow, especially if they win tonight. I'll probably come back with Miami tomorrow against them. Um, a lot of things you said, I agree with. For what it's worth, Orlando looked really good without Banchero. I mean, is that going to be sustainable? Probably not. They take Houston into OT. We see it all the time. We shouldn't have to repeat ourselves, but we will because it happens every night. Star player goes down. The team that shouldn't get there gets there. Houston looked like they lacked a little interest until the game was getting away from them, and then they came back and wound up winning it. Home after Orlando was on a road trip, right? It's the first one back home. I think I'm trying to look up in my notes here how long they were on the road for. They were
No, I mean, they were on the road versus the Rockets. Game before that, home versus the Nets. It's been
yeah, okay, so it's really
home road.
not much of a return to home here. Then I'm going to stick with. I didn't play it for the particular reason that I'd like to come back against Golden State tomorrow. So I'm going to be rooting for Golden State tonight to win this game so that I can play Miami in tomorrow's game. I think Golden State, that's the one where they'll probably let go of the rope a little bit. Other than Jimmy, you might want to play his props tomorrow night. But as for tonight, I think Golden State's the right side. Just can't get there with it.
Mark, yes, Skee is off minutes restriction now. I appreciate you asking. LJ, he likes Curry over 26.5 points tonight. He says 39 points for the last 5 games in Orlando. So a matchup that has been pretty well for him. Suggs doesn't play. Could look even better for Steph Curry out there on the perimeter. Yeah, this game. Another thing I wanted to mention: both teams are 5-0 to the first half under. You do see a full game total of 220. We'll call it 223.5. First half is 109. Is there any reason to think we don't have another slow start out the gate here? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Pace wise, last 5 games, Magic are 26th. Warriors kind of middle of the pack. Both teams are top 10 defensive rated teams the last 5 games. Not the best offensively, but when I look at the Warriors, I mean, they held the Pacers down, who everybody's holding the Pacers down, and they held them to 83. Outside of that, I mean, Spurs and Pelicans one time. I don't know if I can trust those numbers from the Warriors side. Any last thoughts there on that maybe first half under?
Yeah, it's just too low for me to play Ski 109, 55, 55. I don't know the way these games are played nowadays. And for what it's worth, Orlando wasn't the best defensively the other day without Banchero. So, and there's no Kaminga on the other side as well. So maybe points would be lessened. But for me, that number is just too low for me to go under. If I see like one, and this is outrageous, but if I had seen something, around the 113.5 mark, probably would look, but at 109, I can't look.
All right, we'll move it over to the next game, and that looks like Boston and Brooklyn. Opened up minus 10.5 for the Celtics. Looks like 11 right now. Total open 229. I'm not sure if I saw a 229 ever, but it is looking like 223 right now. Yeah, between 223 and 222.5. As far as injuries are concerned here, Tatum is out, Highsmith is out, Thomas is out. Let me just refresh this. Let me make sure this is not behind. Because I literally just looked at this and I don't see any injuries. Yeah, it's not behind. All right. So we do have. I like under in this game, both teams off wins. Both teams shot like 40 something percent from three. So I'm thinking there could be some shooting regression for both. Nets also got to shoot like 30 something free throws in that game. So it's hard for me to see that offense repeat, especially without Cam Thomas. We know that the pace slows without him. There's less scoring without him in general. When you look at both of these teams, I mean, I keep saying Jaylen Brown was lying, Rob Veno. I mean, last 5 games, it's the slowest pace and the second slowest pace teams. So I'm not expecting this one, to be a track meet. I think it'll be slower. I also look at both teams do like to shoot a lot of above the break threes, but if we're looking at how they've been defending lately, both teams pretty good as far as above the break 3-point field goal percentage allowed. I like under in this one, Ravino. What say you?
Yeah, the Boston side Ski, it's two really good shooting games in a row. mean, prior to that, they played Memphis before they played the Clippers on Sunday and shot 51% and made 21 threes. So all of a sudden, Boston last two games, 41% from beyond the arc in both. Peyton Pritchard, a guy we've talked about quite a bit on the show, is not really being as good of a shooter as a starter as he was as a reserve. Hit 8 threes the other day. So maybe things are coming around for Boston as far as that 3-point shooting is concerned, because we know they like to chuck them. We know the Nets don't necessarily defend that well. Michael Porter Jr. has been the big gun for them. Without Cam Thomas, he'll take more shots. I would have played Boston if the price was in some sort of decent range, but who's going to lay 11 points with the Celtics? Honestly, you can't do it at this point in time. Don't really want to grab them with the Nets. Total 222.5. I don't know if I expect the same regression that you do, because I don't like either defense, but the pace that you mentioned certainly would dictate less possessions. We'll see how the 3-pointers here go, Skee. That's always such a variable, how good teams are going to shoot from 3, but it looks to me like Boston's heating up a little bit. Maybe their team total side up and over. I haven't played it. I might consider it just because maybe I'm getting in on the low end of their starting to heat up a little bit offensively. That being said, that number is 117. Not that huge of a hurdle against Brooklyn, but if I'm wrong and they're not shooting better, they just had 2 games that are a mirage, then I'd be off. But that's probably the only way I could look. Their game doesn't interest me too much.
All right, Vino, maybe looking a little different than I am. I am on that under. Next game up, we have Grizzlies and Spurs. Opened up 5.5 for the Spurs. Looks like 6. Total hasn't moved that much from 234. As far as who's available, we know the usual suspects for the Grizzlies plus Ja now out. For the Spurs, no Emby, McLaughlin, Harper, or Castle. Um, Sounds like a lot of offense, a lot of playmaking out for the Spurs team. I mean, you still do have De'Aaron Fox there. Devin Vassell probably will have a good night tonight. For this Memphis team, you know, I still think these guys care. If anybody didn't care, it would be Ja right now. So I'm not trying to say they're better without Ja, but I think you're still going to get a really good effort from everybody out there on the court tonight. I think Zach Edey back for this Grizzlies team is pretty big for them, especially without Wemby down there for the Spurs. I'm thinking this is too many points to be laying with a Spurs team minus Castle, Harper, and Wemby. Honestly, um, I will be grabbing the +6 from with the Grizzlies rather than laying in this one. What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's hard for me to get to the Grizzlies because they have no point guard. Every single point guard is out. And you're coming in here with Vince Williams probably playing a point, but you have shooting guards playing point. It's just not really conducive. If you wanted to play a prop, De'Aaron Fox maybe could have his way tonight offensively. That being said, the other matchup on the other side is just as significant because Memphis should crush the boards here, right? I mean, Zach Edey, like you say, he came back. He had, I think, 13 points, and their head coach said their rim protection instantly changed with him coming back the other day. Team him up with Jaren Jackson Jr., and all you have on the other side is Luke Cornett, who played well the other day in place of Wemby. I think he had a low double-double, maybe 13 and 11, something like that, 14 and 11. But Luke Cornett on his own isn't going to contest Jackson and Edey. So the interior advantage goes to Memphis here. I like your first point most of all about a lot of offense missing in this game. 234, 233.5 now just seems like a large number for both of these to get to. If San Antonio had a real ability to get to the rim against just Luke Cornett, I would like it maybe a little more points. I would like maybe a little more points to be scored here. But the other side, like I say, Fox should have his way with the guards. But when he gets to the rim, he's met by a couple of shot blockers too. So this thing, a total might interest me here, Skee, as far as under is concerned. They haven't really pushed it down as far as I think it deserves to be pushed down because of the lack of point guard play on Memphis's side. So I would lean right now with Memphis San Antonio under the number.
And I can understand that with the injury report the way it is. Um, yeah, a little bit of a tough one there. We'll keep going down the list. Pistons and Hawks. Open Pistons -1.5. We've seen a flip of favorites. We now have the Hawks. Looks like -1. As far as the total, open 229.5. Not a whole lot of movement there. Injury report for Atlanta. Okongwu is questionable. Porzingis is questionable. Zachary Risachet, after that fall he had, is questionable as well. No Trae Young. For Detroit, Cade, Tobias, Asar Thompson, all questionable. No Ivy, Levert, Sasser, or Clintman. This Detroit team is on the second of a back-to-back. For the Hawks, it's their first game home after a road trip, and they do have a little bit of a rest advantage for this game. I don't like the question marks. I'll tell you that for the Hawks, and I don't like the idea of really fading the Pistons right now. This Pistons team is playing, very scrappy, playing with a lot of confidence, and it's very hard to step in the way of that right now. They're sitting at 12-2. Um, the Hawks have been a better defensive team since Trae Young has been out of the lineup, and I do think of Detroit as a solid defense too. I want to consider under. Any reason to talk me off of that, Rob?
Probably not. Detroit's been really good on the defensive side. I think we brought up the point the other day. I forget which coach it was who said that Detroit is just flat out one of the most physical teams in the NBA. They like to throw their bodies around and make you feel them, so to speak. Um, and I don't like, as you said, I don't like the injury list for Atlanta with all those questions, all being interior players against Detroit. You may want to look Jalen Duren's way where rebounds are concerned. He's an interior beast. I would definitely lean towards Detroit in this game. First game back, as you mentioned, after 4 West Coast games for Atlanta. Detroit being the more physical of the two. I think the Detroit injury report probably will be okay. I could see Cade playing here. And like you said, I don't want to step in front of it either. They look like a team each night out that wants to win games. We talk often here about teams don't care, results happen because guys don't care. But Detroit looks like a team that just wants to prove a point. And maybe they're working for playoff seeding right now in November, trying to just stack wins so they can be there at the end. I like their side at this price. I would probably play Detroit. Haven't yet, but it's on my short list of things to play.
Yeah, Mike asking if they're 12-2, why are they an underdog? I mean, they're on a back-to-back and they have a lot of question marks as far as, questionables and injury report stuff. Fox stuff, can't talk anybody off. He's gonna have a lot of responsibility in this game. So I can't talk you off any of that good stuff. All right. Lakers and Jazz keeps going up. I see 13s right now. Total went from 236 as high as 239. Injury report. LeBron may make his debut. He's questionable. So is Gabe Vincent. Then for Utah, Kyle Anderson, Lipowski, Hendricks all questionable, and Niang looks like he's out. Um, and these Jazz games look like night and day as far as home and road. The road games, not scoring at all, really. The Lakers, the opposite. Every single home game has gone over. The Lakers, a team that I always say I don't trust the most defensively, but they have shown an ability to beat up on some of these bad teams. The Lakers have the rest advantage here, at least 2 days, I believe, for them. It is their first game off of a road trip, not the best situation there, but you do have a Jazz team traveling, coming off of an overtime game that they won as an underdog. So could be a letdown spot for them. Vino, I do always say I don't trust this Lakers defense that much, but if you look at the numbers, the defense top 10 last 5, it's the offense that hasn't been keeping up. Offense ranked 20th. Um, if the Lakers come with that kind of defense, I can see them winning this game by margin. How are you viewing Lakers Jazz?
It was definitely my first inclination. What stops me here, Skee, and I'll ask you, um, if LeBron plays, we often talk about star players returning to the lineup. Do they clog things up? Does it, does it throw the offense out of sync? If LeBron comes back tonight, do you want to lay 12 and a half or 13 with him? Is it a positive or is it somewhat of a neutral force, him coming back?
I think LeBron can fit into whatever is going on. I don't think he'll come back and try to be ball dominant. I think he understands and has seen what the team is doing. I think he's smart enough to just do, come in, fit in, do whatever the team needs. So I don't think he will throw off the Lakers.
And if that's the case, I think, again, I said yesterday, I don't like playing these large numbers. I play a large number yesterday. Denver goes down outright. So I might be a jinx when it comes to that. But I do think the Lakers minus 12 and a half, even if LeBron is on the floor and he works in with the rest of the team, I think they probably could win by 20, to tell you the truth. The point you made about Jazz home and road, we've discussed it before. The road offense is just non-existent, period. And at home, all of a sudden you can, score 130 at will. So to me, Jazz on the road here, not a spot I want to be on. Lakers at home. And maybe LeBron does bring a boost. Who knows? But it's the only way I could play this game. Skee totals moving upward, 239. Don't know what to make of that. But LA, as far as the side is concerned, to me, they're better at every position, to tell you the truth. And so I would look that way.
All right, we have one more game on the slate. That is the Suns and Blazers. Open 3.5 for Portland, down to 2.5. Not a lot of movement on the total at all. For Phoenix, there will be no Grayson Allen or Jalen Green. For Portland, you have Drew, doubtful, Scoot, Matisse Tybul, and Wesley all out. Um, this is honestly the game that I like the least on the slate. But you have the Suns who are coming off a loss as a favorite. Actually, both teams are. So bounce back situation for both. First of a back to back for the Blazers. First game home off a road trip, and they're coming off of an overtime game. This Blazers team. So sounds like a lot going on for the Blazers there. It's interesting to see them open as 3.5 point favorites. I just don't view the Blazers as a favorite kind of team. So my initial thought is to lean towards the Suns. How do you feel about Blazers and Suns?
If they had Drew Holiday, I probably would play Blazers just because of all the guard offense that's missing on the other side. For Phoenix, real quick, without those two players the other day, without Grayson Allen, without Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks and Devin Booker became the backcourt. They had 61 points. The team scored 122. So they scored 50% of the team's points. They took 48 combined shots. It just shows you where the offense is going to come from. Uh, Brooks and Devin Booker are going to shoot the basketball relentlessly. There's really no other scoring threats, legitimate scoring threats outside of those two in this game. For Portland, however, you get the same thing, Skee. I mean, Drew doesn't play the other day. Their bench scores 15 points against Dallas. That was the overtime game. Dallas wins 138-133. They couldn't stop Dallas defensively. Dallas can't get out of their own way as an offense, yet they shoot 50% counting overtime in that contest. So Portland's defense is no good. Phoenix is down a couple of big scorers. I just don't know what to make of this. We talked about another game earlier, Memphis, San Antonio, where the injuries to both sides kind of make it a which side of the fence are you standing on, because both sides are flawed. I think it's the same thing here. Both sides are flawed. You may get I don't know, you may get an over out of this somehow, some way because of lack of defense, but I won't play either side.
I mean, Blazers have been giving it up. 138 to the Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mavericks can't score on anybody. 140 to the Rockets, 117 to the Pellies, 115 to the Magic, 136 to the Heat. They've been giving it up. And the Suns have shown an ability to score 121 plus in their last 4 games. I don't know that Grayson Allen is that much of that offense that they're putting up there. I think Suns team total could absolutely be worth a look. Let me see what it is. Suns team total is best you can get is 117, it looks like tonight. They scored 121 plus in 4 straight. The Blazers have given up 117 plus, and what is this? 6 of their last 7 games. I mean, it does look pretty easy. I don't like when they look that easy, but it's 1 plus 1 equals 2. We know sometimes it equals 7, but Suns team total over does seem pretty appealing in this one. Um, that's it. That's it for the NBA for today. So on that note, we'll wrap it up. We'll go to best bets. I'll throw up these things that we usually do. I'm pretty sure full court pass is still available. You can get college basketball and NBA for only $49. If you want to go a little bit further than that, 10 days of picks for less than $10 per day. And the longer one Rob Veno was talking about yesterday, um, you can get $500 off a 1 year pass, comes out to $125 a month. And included in that will be a 25% bonus coupon. Let's say you get Rob Veno for a year, you can use the 25% bonus coupon to come check out my stuff. So I think we can wrap it up with that there. Veno, I'll pass it to you for best bets. If you have anything else you would like to promote, feel free. And if you have a best bet for the show, we would love to hear it.
Last thing I'll say, Skee, as far as promotion is concerned, it is $5 Tuesday over at wagertalk.com. $5 plays from each and every handicapper. You can get those. Go over to wagertalk.com. If you had ever tried any selection packages, Tuesday's generally the day that you would like to do it. Cost is obviously next to nothing at $5 per play. So go ahead and check it out over at wagertalk.com. Best bets. I mean, if the audience is going to allow me here, if the chat room is going to allow me, I'm going to skip right through the NBA because I don't feel strongly enough about any of it. I did bet the Pistons -1 for what it's worth. I'll go directly to college football with my strongest play of the day here, guys. It's going to be Ohio U. Now Tuesday action going on here. Ohio U team total. They're making us. They just keep jacking up the vig. I think in late 35 or 40 cents now. They won't come off of 41.5. So I played their team total over 41.5 against a UMass team that might as well have high school uniforms on. They've been that bad this season. Last week, Northern Illinois hadn't scored over 21 points in a game. I don't think they scored 31 in the first half against this team. And Ohio U's playing for something as they try to get into the MAC title game. They're at home off a loss. So for me, best bet's going to get out of the NBA for the day, get into college football. Ohio University team total over 41.5.
All right, good stuff from Veno. I did not put anything up for $5 Tuesday yet because I'm waiting for tomorrow's lines. There's some games I'm looking at for Wednesday, and I like those plays a little bit stronger than today. So if you're interested, it will be up in the afternoon once they drop these lines for Wednesday. So to take advantage before it goes back up, at midnight. That's what I'm trying to say there. My best bet for the show, I did place one bet, and that is under 222 and a half. Boston and Brooklyn. You can get a 223 right now. You can even get 223.5. So it's starting to go back up. But I told you guys why I like it. Two of the teams playing the slowest pace in the league last 5 games, coming off of really good shooting performances. Both teams shot 40% from 3 plus. So I'm expecting regression on that. And I'm expecting the Nets not to live at the free throw line, shooting like 30-something free throws like they did in their last game. Outside of that, they've been a team really struggling to score. Boston has had some guys step up and be good defenders, whether it's Manat, whether it's Walsh. They've had some guys step up and be good defensively. And for Brooklyn, Claxton finally starting to look like, he's getting his timing back, able to swat some of those shots and protect the rim. So I like under Boston and Brooklyn. That'll be my best bet for the show. Always say appreciate you taking the time to come cap these games with us. Everybody in the chat, we appreciate you all as well. Best of luck, you guys, on all of your action. We'll see you again